Hello everyone and welcome to an especially shiny Ultimate Fighter episode review. This is for Season 27, Episode 10, titled Embrace It, with the main fight of this one being two Team Cormier teammates, which are Brett, Clark Kent, Katona, and Bryce, Thug Nasty Mitchell. Two fighters I really like, and they do put on a really good fight, but we'll get to that when we get to it. So, yeah, I really liked how this episode opened. We had Cormier talking with his fighters, and talking about Michael Chiesa, who was the winner of season 15 of the Ultimate Fighter, or the Ultimate Fighter Live, and he came up with some really good advice. Because for those who remember, on Michael Chiesa won his fight to get into the house, which was March 9th. His father passed away the next day, and so Michael was dealing with a lot of adversity going into it, and he still won that entire season anyway. And he gave the fighters some really good advice, like try not to let everything get to you at once, and if you do, just embrace being a fighter, embrace what the job is, because it does entail like open workouts and media meetings and press conferences and all that stuff, and he's pointing out like you have to be ready for that. And then he talked to Brad and Bryce, who were the two people fighting, and he just said, I've had to fight friends before, because, in the Ultimate Fighter Season 15 finale, he fought Ali Quinto, who was a friend of his, on the show, and even those two agreed then that if a fight happens, a fight happens, and that's basically the same mentality that Brad and Bryce had. They both agreed, yeah, I like the other guy. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to fight, because it is a business thing, and they both basically agreed with that. They both said sort of the same thing. So that was quite nice. And I wish I could remember a hell of a lot more than I actually do. It got to the fight itself fairly quickly. So I'll try and remember what I can. Let's see. Stipe Miocic and a couple of the coaches appeared and got some pizza for everyone, which is quite nice. And they're watching UFC Fight Night in Orlando. So yeah, very right. I don't know if that helps, but yeah, they had a good time. Watched the UFC card. It was nice to see them having fun, and there was a couple of good moments actually before the fight itself, which was sort of contrasting, because we had Bryce Mitchell training outside with Saman Mokhtarian, doing some mitt work. And while he was working out outside, inside, Brad Katona was ironing some clothes. And then we moved to the next thing, which is Brad Katona talking to Mike Trizano, I think it is, about him being sort of, apprehensive about his own fight, while Bryce Mitchell is teaching Alan Zuniga what a squirrel is, and basically explaining it as a rat that lives in a tree. And I'm like, not wrong. I find squirrels cute, but Bryce is a backwards boy. He's a hunter, so go respect that, I guess. But yeah, that was pretty fun to see that weird contrasting thing. And I don't really have a lot to talk about for this episode. I thought I'd have more. I did like the episode, don't get me wrong, and there's some especially good moments. We had... Oh yeah, while I remember, while Bryce was talking to Zuniga, he was talking about how much he missed his family and such, especially his girlfriend Danielle. So that was quite nice. And he made an arrowhead. He made an arrowhead necklace for Daniel Cormier, which he gave to him when he was about to fight Brad. So that was kind of cool. And I think it was Mike Trizano who said, the more that you live with Bryce Mitchell, the more that you learn about him. And he was kind of being funny about it. There was a moment where Bryce peed in a bush outside the back. And I was like, yeah, that's a very backwards thing to do, but it just made me like Bryce Mitchell all the more. So, yeah, I don't know, this is an episode with not a lot to talk about, and I thought there'd be more to talk about, so I apologise. I'm just trying to kill the time. May as well talk about the fight itself. I don't really have a lot else to bring up. The fight itself was pretty good. The first two rounds were fairly even, but I definitely agree with Cormier's assessment. He leaned towards Brad Katona for round 1, I agree with that. He leaned towards Bryce Mitchell for round 2, I agree with that. There was a lot of really good groundwork in the fight. There was a brief moment in round 2 where Bryce almost gave up his back, but he managed to recover and landed some really good standing elbows as Brad was lunging in, so that was good. Did I say Bryce was getting up? I think I did. In case I didn't, Bryce was getting up, landing the L's on Brad as he was lunging. Just so you know. In case I confused anyone. So that was a really, really good moment. And in round 3, like, it went to the ground again. And Brad, like, he worked hard for a few submissions. He got a good guillotine, he got a good armbar, but Bryce Mitchell managed to do some really cool stuff and get out of the way of both. And but there was a moment where, like, they were sort of tight in a great position, and Katona eventually managed to get out of it, and Bryce gave us back, and Katona instantly sunk in the rear naked choke, and Bryce Mitchell tapped. And it sucked seeing him tap, especially considering a thing he was saying. He does have a nice story, and I will talk about it briefly before carrying on. So he was saying that he had a basketball match, and his mom was watching, and his side lost the match. And his mom was cursing him out and yelling at him and like basically telling him that Mitchell's never quit. And Bryce Mitchell didn't want to quit, but he was caught in a really bad submission and he was forced to tap. I don't find that like hypocritical or anything. I just think, you know, if I were to say like Taylor's never quit, and I were to fight in the Ultra Fire and then get my ass kicked and tap out of a submission, I wouldn't see any shame in that. So, you know, Bryce Mitchell especially has nothing to be ashamed of because this was a really good fight and maybe could be fight of the season. I don't really know. I do remember quite liking it. It was fairly back and forth, a lot of really good groundwork. Katona got the win, which I'm glad about. So he's going to be in the finals of the featherweight bracket, and he's going to fight either Jay Cuccinello or Tyler Diamond. Both guys I like. Jay Cuccinello because I like seeing British fighters on the Ultimate Fighter. It's one of the few things I'm proud of as a British person. And I wouldn't be mad with Tyler Diamond because he's the #1 pick and he's a hell of a fighter. And he's proved that already, so I don't know. And Mike Chisano is going to fight either Joe Giannetti or Alan Zuniga, because we haven't really seen how Zuniga fights. We've seen how Giannetti fights, and he fights really well. We haven't really seen how Zuniga fights yet, so yeah. Anyway, I guess that really about does it for this episode. Yeah, the fight was good. Brad Katona got the submission, and him and Bryce are still going to be friends afterwards, which is good. And I'll see you all this weekend for. See, it's the 21st. On Sunday, I'll probably see you for the next UFC Fight of the Night review. If there is one, I'm hoping. I've been screwed over, sort of, for the last 3 cards. Like, I don't know if I should count the last one, even though I did do a video about it. It's weird for only one person to win Fight of the Night because the other one missed weight and was forced to have the bonus taken away. That makes no sense to me, but I already rambled about that in that video. So, yeah, I'll see you all soon for next Fight of the Night review, then probably soon after that for the Blackstone Cherry backtracking episode. And hopefully it's the Coach Challenge in the next episode, because it didn't happen in this one. Hopefully. It's normally around episode 11 anyway. Like, there's been 2 semi-final fights, there's 2 more to go. I'm begging for that fucking Coach Challenge thing. I want it to happen. It has to happen, unless they just don't have anything. In which case I'll be mad, but I've enjoyed the season so far anyway. So, I'm going to end it now, before it gets any worse. See you all Sunday, and then some days after that. Probably Wednesday. Thank you for listening. You're awesome. Bye-bye.